Hi and welcome to Cutting Edge Digital TV. I'm Marshall Williams, and on today's show I'll be showing you how to create your own custom skin for Race 07, including most of the Simbin and RaceRoom add-on expansion files such as GTR Evolution, STCC The Game, STCC2 The Game, Race On, the GT Power Expansion, WTCC 2010, the Formula RaceRoom add-on, RaceRoom The Game 2, and the Retro Expansion Pack. Now, skinning is sort of like making a model car that can be useful if you want to create a replica car of one of your favorite drivers, custom paint for league use, or just one of your own creations. Now, in order for the custom skins to be viewed by others online, it will have to be uploaded to your league's race server, where it will be viewable by everyone participating in a racing event. They can also be shared with others for download. Now, after you've downloaded and extracted your desired template and have chosen the car you would like to paint, there is a few things you want to do. For this tutorial, I'll be using Adobe Photoshop CS5. Most any photo editing software program will do, and for those of you who are looking for a free alternative, there's GIMP, which will work just as well and is free. You can download GIMP from www.gimp.org. You will also need to download and install the DDS plugin from the site so you can view and save your work in a DDS file format for use with Race 07. For Adobe Photoshop, you will need to download and install the DDS plugin from NVIDIA's site. A thumbnail viewer will also be needed so that when you open a folder that contains your DDS file, you can see the image likeness in the containing folder. If you're using Windows XP, then you can download the thumbnail viewer from NVIDIA's site. Now, if you've upgraded to Windows 7, you'll find, as I did, that the NVIDIA thumbnail viewer does not work in Windows 7. However, there are a few other applications out there that will work. You'll just have to Google to search for a Windows 7 DDS file viewer. Now, I've tried a few of them, and I found that Mystic Thumbs works the best for me, which can be found at www.mysticcoder.net. It is, however, $25 for a single license, but they do offer a trial version. The next thing I like to do is to create a folder for my custom skin in the Simbin Custom Skins folder in the Documents folder, giving it a unique name to identify it. This is where you'll save your interior and exterior window and the car body or chassis in the DDS format. I usually save my Photoshop templates to the same Simbin Custom Skins folder containing my DDS files in a separate folder named Photoshop. This is for Photoshop files only. Now would also be a good time to rename your Photoshop body file and save it with a different name so you don't overwrite the original template file. Also, if your computer locks up and crashes, you won't lose your work, and you can always go back to it later to make some modifications to your creation. You'll also want to save your interior and exterior window Photoshop files to the same folder. There's no need to rename the window files, but you can if you want, or if you've created your own unique window banner, or maybe change the window or headlight color or tint. I would not suggest tinting the interior windows though, since it can affect what you see through the windows. Now, let's save a version of the template files in a DDS format, starting with the interior-exterior windows. Since I'm not going to be changing the banner or window tint, I'll just go ahead and save them as is without changing the name. Let's save the interior window first. First, you'll want to flatten your layers. When it asks you if you want to discard the alpha, check yes. Then we'll choose the Save As option and select .dds format, leaving the file name the same. We'll click Save. In our DDS plugin window, check the No Bitmaps option. Then choose DXT5 Interpolated Alpha. We'll do the same thing for the external Windows file, except you want to generate bitmaps and select 6 bitmaps. The body will also be saved in a DDS format, but in our plugin you want to select DXT1 with no alpha and 6 mid-maps. Leaving the windows the same name is also useful for creating liveries for a racing team. You can create several bodies with different numbers and drivers' names, and you'll only need one set of interior-exterior windows files for all the chassis. I'll show you more on that later. The ini file is what tells RaceRoom what image to load when it looks for that custom skin folder. So you must be careful to ensure that your line entry is exactly the same as your DDS image file. You'll also want to make sure you include the file extension in that line, such as .dds or .tga for your menu button and result flag icons for flag of your country, which can be downloaded online from various sites like No Grip, Race Department, RaceRoom Online, and many other sim racing sites and forums. For creating the ini file, we'll go to our custom skins folder and right click in a blank area and select a new text document. It may say Notepad in Windows XP. Rename the file whatever you want. I'm going to name mine my GTR M3 GT2. Next, we'll open the Notepad file, go to File, Save As, and give it the name you've chosen, ending with .ini. After you save it, you'll notice the file is now a configuration file, indicated by the little gear image icon. You can now delete the text file. In your custom skins folder, there should be a text document that's named template. Open that and you'll see a listing of formats for various cars. We'll be using the GTR M3 GT2 and only selecting the lines containing the car description, body, windows, and interior windows. Copy and paste those lines into our newly created configuration file. After that, you'll want to create a line for the team name and the driver's name. The team name is usually formatted with 3 square brackets on each side. The driver name will have 2 brackets on each side. Next, we'll enter our DDS file name with the extensions on the appropriate line. The name for the window files will be the easiest since we've not changed the file name, but the line for the body will need to be given the unique name you've given your body or chassis DDS file. Now you can save and close your config file. Now that we've saved our DDS files and created the configuration file, we can now test to make sure that our custom car shows up in-game and that we aren't generating an error file in our custom skins folder. So let's go ahead and crank up RaceRoom. Although you have saved your car files and verified that it's visible in-game, there's still a possibility that an error file can be generated. An error file is usually generated when RaceRoom can't find an image file listed in your config file. This is because an image file listed in a line entry is not present, or that file name does not match the file name given in your line entry description. Also, there can be an incorrect line entry, or when a line is improperly formatted, or in other words, contains an invalid parameter. Some things will be obvious when you try to view your car in RaceRoom, like the car not showing up in game, or the wrong car showing up with the textures out of place. Your windows may not show up, or you may not be able to see out of your interior window. Some things may not be so obvious, like edits made to your windows or window banner not showing in game. Some cars support custom wheel colors, which means you can add the line wheel color equals and a number from 1 to 3 to change the wheel color. Some do not, in which you will get this error text message. If your image file saves properly, then most likely the problem will be found in your configuration file. The answer to the problem will be found in the errors text. After you've made your corrections, then delete the errors text file and restart RaceRoom. If everything is okay, then you will find no errors text in your custom skins folder, and you can move on to painting your car. Just remember, if later you want to add menu buttons, flags, or helmet and suit textures, you will want to again check your custom skins folder to see if an error text is being generated before you start painting. It's also a good idea to check for errors when you download and install someone else's skin. Some guy that's apparently had a lot of experience at mutilating felines once said, "There's more than one way to skin a cat," and the same holds true for skinning cars. Learning to master the tools available to you in your photo editing application and developing a sound technique will further enhance your ability to create some awesome designs. After a while, you'll develop your own workflow, but here are some basics. A few tools you may use most often are the polygonal lasso tool, the pen tool, the eraser tools, the paintbrush and text tool, the shape tool, and the marquee tool. Most of the body parts will be fairly easy to identify, but it can be a little daunting to figure out how some body parts are arranged within the template layout. Creating separate layers for different body parts within the template layout will allow you to verify that you've painted the right part and that your paint is displayed properly in-game. It also allows you to go back and make changes or corrections to a particular part without affecting any of the other parts within the layout. You'll want to save your body or chassis in a DDS format in the custom car folder that you created as you progress, and start RaceRoom to view your paint as you go along. If you start a race event and save the replay, you can also refer back to that replay to see your changes with a few more viewing options. This can be very time consuming, but it does allow you to see your work in its 3D representation. After you have created your desired design, you can flatten your graphics paint layers down to one layer. This helps to make things a lot less cluttered. If you have more than one color, I also suggest that you separate the flattened layers by color. This gives you the flexibility to go back and make changes to your color schemes. Now, this is only one technique, which will probably be very good for very complex paint designs. For simpler designs, you may be able to do it with a lot less layers. Keep in mind that template layouts can vary with car types. The open wheel cars can be much different from the GT or WTCC cars. Here's the fun part, where we apply our paint and logo graphics. If you're creating your own skins to upload and share, keep in mind that you'll get more downloads by creating replica liveries of actual cars and drivers. However, if you're like me, I just like to create my own fictional designs, mostly for personal use. Now you don't have to add the suit, helmet, or flags if you don't want to. RaceRoom will still display the default suit and helmet textures and generate a generic country flag image for the menu icons. The procedure for adding custom helmet and paint is pretty much the same. You save your custom painted helmet and or suit in the same custom car folder that you saved your body or chassis to in a DDS format. Save the helmet in a DDS format DXT5, but you want to flatten it first. Save the suit textures as DXT1 with 6 bitmaps. You then add the perimeter lines for helmet and suit images you've added to your custom car folders. After that, enter the file names on the appropriate line ending with the .dds extension. The menu flag and in-game flag images are .tga files. You'll add the flag perimeter lines, then the image file name ending with the .tga file extension. For team liveries, you'll have a separate DDS car image for each driver with different numbers and maybe a different design. You'll only need one set of interior and exterior windows in your custom car folder. You can then copy all the lines from your previous car, excluding the team name, and paste the line group below. In the name brackets, you'll change the driver name. On the line that says body or chassis, you want to change that entry to match the name of the newly created DDS file that you made as your other body. Save and close. Open RaceRoom and check that the car shows up properly and that you have not generated an error file in your custom skins folder. When you finish your car skin, you can, number 1, leave your custom car folder in the root of the custom skins folder. Number 2, create a folder to archive your cars in separate folders, each having its own config file. Number 3, create a folder to archive all your image files with one any configuration file. Number 4, use all 3 methods as long as you don't have any duplicate files or folders. Now these painting techniques can be used in many other games like iRacing and R-Factor. As long as you follow that game's configuration requirements, you can obtain the template file and you know the destination and the format in which to save the file. Now I've included a download of my Photoshop project files along with the Cutting Edge Digital TV custom car livery, which can be downloaded from No Grip Racing at www.nogrip.com. I've also included in the Photoshop folder a folder containing all of the in-game and menu flags. There's also a README file showing what format to save your suit and helmet textures in, and a copy of the template text. That's it. Hopefully I've covered just about everything you'll need to know about painting your own car. And thanks for watching Cutting Edge Digital TV.